How's it going, guys? I'm Mike Dwyer from the Bunker Recordings and BetterMixes.com, and today we're going to talk about why you probably need one of these. If you record guitar amps, I 100% think you should take a raw DI track with every guitar part you record. And there's a couple reasons for this. First off, if you need to edit your guitars, it'll make your life so much easier. If you'd like to heavily edit your guitars and get them super tight, then this is an absolute must-have. But even if you find yourself just doing occasional edits to tighten up a loose thing here or there, this will save so much time. And this is especially true with distorted guitars. The more distortion there is, the harder it is to edit. If you look at these two tracks here, the one on the top is a distorted guitar amp, and the bottom is the clean DI that goes with it. Now, obviously you could still edit the top one by ear, but if you've got more than just a couple edits to do, it's going to become time consuming. Being able to see the transients in the DI makes this so much easier. Again, even if you're just doing a handful of edits, the time it saves really adds up. And now on to the second reason why you should record a DI track, and that's to have a safety or a backup. As much as you might try to get it right in tracking, sometimes a sound that you dialed in just doesn't end up working in the mix. Having a DI track means you can reamp the guitar and get a totally different sound without having to have the guitar player come back and play it again. Yes, there's a lot you can do in the mix to improve a less than great guitar sound, but ultimately, if it's not the right sound for the song, no amount of mixing is going to help that. I can think of a handful of times where having a DI track really saved my butt. For instance, there was one time when we tracked distorted rhythm guitars for the whole song, but then later, the band asked if there was any way that it would be possible if the bridge could be clean. If I didn't have a DI track, the only way that would have been possible is for the band to come back to the studio and record it again. But since we did have the DI track, I just ran it out to a new amp, mic'd it up, and we're good to go. Another time, a band had this lead guitar part, and they wanted a really unique, interesting texture on it, so we used a ton of effects going into the amp, and we all loved it in the moment. It sounded really cool. But once they got the first mix back, they felt like the effects were really overpowering, and kinda just like a little too weird. Again, if I didn't take the DI, there would be nothing in the mix that I could really do to take those effects off. But sometimes it comes in handy even in less extreme cases. Maybe you get to the mixing phase, and now that all the elements of the song are in, that guitar tone that you liked before isn't really working with everything else. Once again, thanks to the DI, you can reamp the guitar tone or put an amp sim on and get a sound that works better for the song, so you don't have to mangle it as much in the mix. And you don't have to spend a ton of money on a DI either. There are about 1 million options out there, ranging from very cheap to very expensive. But what I always recommend to people, if you're not looking to spend a ton of money on one, is one of these Radial Pro DIs. They have a passive and an active version. They're both about $100 brand new, or I think I picked this one up used for like $50 or something. But they sound good, and they're built like tanks and will last you absolutely forever. So even if it's only one time in your whole career when a band asks for a different guitar sound after they hear the mix, this will have paid for itself. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And be sure to head on over to BetterMixes.com to grab a free copy of my Ultimate EQ cheat sheet.